Hey guys, what's happening? Decided to do a pedal modification for this video, and today I'm going to be looking at the Boss DS-2 Turbo Distortion. There's only a couple of mods that I found online for this, and I think the one that I'm going to try for this video is one that was described as the Indyguitarist mod. So the other thing about this too is that on my particular pedal, the distortion control is very, very scratchy and cuts in and out as you turn it. So I'm hopefully going to address that as well. So first thing I'm going to do is give you a list of what you need if you want to do this mod yourself. So parts list, and then we'll open it up. Alright, so here's what you're going to need to do the mod that I'm going to do for this video. First thing, you need 3 1 kilo ohm resistors. You need one 3.3 kilo ohm resistor, one 10 nanofarad capacitor, 2 1N4001 diodes, one 1N34A diode, and 2 3mm LEDs. Now, I've heard it said that the color can alter the sound based on whichever LED you choose. I've just chosen 2 at random, so I've got a red one and an orange one. I'm not sure what effect other colors will have on the sound, but just keep that in mind in case you're looking for something in particular, or in case you're very particular about what you're putting into your pedals. Yeah, color supposedly can make a difference, but I've just chosen these 2 at random. And that's all you need. Alright guys, I've got the DS-2 apart, about as much as I'm going to get it. I could disassemble it completely, but I didn't want to cut any wires or anything like that, so I've just left the switch in. So, where do we go from here? Well, we got to start, and I'll show you all the places you need to look for and the parts you're going to need to replace them with. And I forgot to mention in my parts list the indicator light. I'm going to be changing from the regular 3mm red LED that's in it to a super bright. Haven't decided on the color. I'll probably just reach in and grab one. But yeah, so if you want to do that, you just need another 3mm red LED or 3mm LED of whatever color you want. Now, one other thing I should mention, let me see here, yes, sorry about that. This control here, the distortion control that was causing us to lose our signal, normally what I would try to do is spray some sort of contact cleaner in there, move it around, and sort of flush it out. But I don't have any of that right now. I did some research before I did this video, pardon me, and the schematics I was looking at told me that this potentiometer was a B250K potentiometer, so linear taper 250K ohm resistance. That's actually not the case, because as we see on the back here, that's actually an audio taper 250K potentiometer. However, changing from audio to linear won't really affect the sound too much. So what I'm going to do is likely change this pot out completely. Just going to desolder that from the board, solder the new one in. The only problem is, as I will show you here, this is the new potentiometer I got. So it'll solder directly to the board, no problem. But I highly doubt that the original knob is going to fit back on this plastic shaft. And in any case, there's nothing there. There's no nut or anything to hold this on. So it'll be kind of a jerry-rigged solution, and it'll make the pedal look funny, but it's just one more indication that the pedal's been modified, and hopefully it will sound just fine. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's get back at this and show you where you need to go. Alright. So here's what we're going to need to do. We'll start with R57, which is right here. You can't really see there it is. So R57 tucked right under this capacitor. We're going to change that one out to a 3.3 kilo ohm resistor. And that's supposed to give us a little more bass and a little compression. So we'll get that one done. Next, we're going to look at R44, which is tucked here behind these wires. That's going to get changed out for a 1 kilo ohm resistor. And as well, R62, which is tucked way up here, right there. We're going to change that one out for a 1 kilo ohm resistor. So R44 is supposed to reduce the highs a bit, and R62 is supposed to give us a little more gain. So that's what we got for those. And next, we're going to look at, let me see here, C28, which it's very difficult to see, but this is it here, right under this yellow wire. Right there, C28, that's this one here. So we're going to try something different with that. We're going to replace it with a 10 nanofarad capacitor, but we're going to solder a 1 kilo ohm resistor in parallel with it. So that is supposed to sort of even out the tone response, slightly scoop the mids. Anyway, it's a tone shaping capacitor, according to what I've read. So after that, we need to look at D8 and D9, which are these two right here. And make sure you pay attention to the polarity. Watch for this stripe. The stripe indicates negative. So D8 and D9. D8 is going to be exchanged for a 1N4001 diode. D9 is going to be a 1N4001 and a 1N34A in series. So those are clipping diodes, and that should make it a little more asymmetrical and a little more amp-like. And the same thing with D11, which is right there. That's going to be exchanged for an LED. And D15, which is way up here, that's going to be the other LED. So all of those diode changes should help to make it more amp-like and a little more symmetrical clipping, or asymmetrical clipping rather. So those are the value changes, and I'm also going to switch out, like I said, the indicator LED for super bright and this potentiometer to fix it. It won't look pretty, but hopefully it'll work better. So I'm going to go get that done, and I'll talk to you guys very shortly. Alright guys, it's been about an hour and I'm pretty much finished. So let's go over what I did. Let me see if I can pick all this crap out again. So R44 right there. That's now a 1 kilo ohm resistor. And let's see what else. There we go. Right next to R44 actually, underneath all those wires. That little red capacitor, that's C28. So that's a 10 nanofarad. And underneath, I'll show you how I accomplished the 1K in parallel. I just soldered it to the back of C28. So that's a 10 nanofarad capacitor and a 1 kilo ohm resistor in parallel. That should be fine the way it is there. R57 is right there. That's now a 3.3 kilo ohm resistor. The resistors I used were slightly bigger than the ones that are in the pedal, so you can see they're kind of stuck out a little, but it's alright as long as they're not touching anything. So next is D8 and D9 right here. So it's a little difficult to see, but there's D8, which is just a 1N4001, and D9 is a 1N4001 here, and a 1N34A there in series. So they're just attached together. D11, I actually switched the indicator LED. Right there, I swapped the indicator for a super bright. I think that's just a white super bright LED. So the red one that came out of it went into D11. So I saved myself an LED. And just for the sake of symmetry, up here for D15, I put another 3mm red LED. And that's it. Oh, and the distortion control went in perfectly. It even almost lines up right there. So next step is to put it all back together and see if it works. And if it does, what does it sound like? So that's modification for the DS-2 complete, working, and does it sound better? I think it does. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Does it look better? The the distortion control, I mean, it works now. It's not scratchy. It's a complete fix. The only problem with it, which I didn't go over in the video, because it's a different taper, it behaves different. So it behaves a lot more sensitive than the audio taper would have, I believe. So when you get down around between, say, 9 o'clock and minimum, that's when most of the jump happens in the gain. So I mean, there's still a fair sweep after that, but that's when you can really hear it. And I imagine if it was an audio taper like it was supposed to be, it would be a lot smoother. But that's a minor issue and I can live with it. In terms of the sound, yeah, I think it sounds a lot better. I'm really finding that it's less harsh than it was, especially on the higher tone settings. Yeah, less hissy. I don't know. Like I said, let me know what you think. I thought it was good, and glad to have done this one. So anybody thinking of modding your DS-2 with this particular mod, go for it. I loved it. So anyway, thanks for watching, you guys, and take it easy. See you guys later.